I thought a record label might be an exciting thing to have, like based around a studio where everyone could be creative, making records, and it would be more, you know. At the time it seemed like an exciting idea. I didn't really understand what a record label did, you know, and a lot of the dynamics that happened between record labels and artists, I didn't anticipate at all.
Yeah, because those early months, I guess, was where a lot of the exuberance and house style and idea of the label came about, when it was a kind of anarchy in a way.
It may have been a certain amount of anarchy, but it wasn't that much anarchy. It wasn't anarchy with 20 people all doing different things. It was just three of us.
Yeah.
And really, you were thinking about the record label, and you know, the name and the whole sort of manifesto of it. And I think that was somewhat, a little bit inspired by all of those sort of things that we had that were the art of noise, but we hadn't put a name to them.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
But it was interesting, that art of noise period, the idea that there became a house band, a house sound, if you like.
Yes,
that seemed very important in terms of research and development for what the label became.
The Big Beat Colossus.
Yeah.
I seem to remember. When you've got a group of musicians, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And the oddest things can happen. You can say, let's do it at this tempo, this key. And one guy out of the four of them can do something and give you the whole clue to the rest of the album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it won't happen with a computer.
That's interesting in terms of how much you were putting into the songs at the time. You know, those early Frankie days, for instance.
Yeah.
You were manic, really, after something. You were questing after something.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, funny enough, we had to listen through all of those, all the versions of Relax the other week, because the four of us that got together. And it was funny listening to them, because I wasn't being daft. I was just trying to get a hit record, just trying to get something trying to get the maximum out of it. Because when I first heard it, I just had a sense that there was something so direct about it. It wasn't a song, but it was like a jingle.
Yeah.
And in a way, what the record is us jamming on the jingle. We just jam on it and we riff out. I mean, when I heard it, that's what we're doing. And then we get crazier and crazier as it goes along. What can we do this time when we come breaking out of it? Well, we'll do this, you know? But we're having fun with it. You can tell we're laughing our heads off because we know we're going to have a big orgasm. Because I'd already heard it, the rain. That's the orgasm. We've got to build to the big one, you know? And, that's what I was doing. I was thinking about that. But up to the point, that particular Tuesday, when we thought about that, I was thinking about failure.
Failure?
A disaster. Well, I just finished this Yes album. It had been a nightmare. I had no idea what was going to happen with it.
Yeah.
You know, I had to go off and do Foreigner because we were so short of money, you know? And that was the biggest offer, even though, like, I've got to be honest, it didn't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
Going from the Art of Noise to Foreigner.
What did you make of the Art of Noise stuff? Because there you were doing the Yeses and the Foreigners, and you had that side of you, and on the other side you had this sort of very random, abstract collage music that was appearing that didn't have a singer. The thing you loved, you didn't have a singer, didn't have choruses, didn't have the so what was it about Art of Noise that you were enjoying?
My feeling about that music at the time was that the sounds were so exciting, it didn't matter. When we put shape into the randomness, like in Close to the Edit, it was great. It was even better.
And what about the idea that then that becomes like 9, 8, 10 versions? You know, that thing. Was that something that you just enjoyed doing for the sheer sake of sound and discovery? The fact that you could keep coming back to the same piece?
Well, it was the first days that you could actually do that, because before that you couldn't do that. You know, you recorded a song, you were there 3 hours in the studio with the session musicians. What are you going to do another version of it? Well, you could, but it would cost you the same money again. You're going to do a remix of your tune or a different version of it. But now, suddenly, not only did we have like 48 tracks, so you could have 2 different versions of your tune within the same multi-track if you wanted to. You know, it was all possible. And then, with Relax, we did the single, and we were so pleased with ourselves because we did the single first take, because we had been rehearsing it for a few hours, but the first time it went to tape, and back then things went to tape. They weren't in there. They were on tape, or they didn't exist, right? We were so pleased with ourselves that we did that 14-minute version using the same elements, and that was possible. It wasn't possible, before.